Hello and welcome to our show, Film Talk with AJ Dean. I'm AJ Dean, your host, and today we have a Las Vegas legend. Look out, everybody, because we have a very special VIP guest, Barbara Brighton. She is a singer, performer, entertainer, comedian, and actress. And let's give her a super warm welcome because we love Barbara all the way from Las Vegas. Hey, Barbara, how are you?
So far, AJ, I'm enjoying this tremendously. I thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm so happy that you're here. We were just talking before about details, and how important details. And I want to share with everybody how exquisite you are because you are a consummate professional.
Oh,
You take the
okay.
time to get the details right, don't you, Barbara?
Yes, I do. Yeah, sure. Like just at the last minute, I said, "Shall I do eyelashes?" No. Yes. So I got up. I said, "I'll do eyelashes." So I got 'em. Can you see them?
Yes,
Better.
they're
It's
beautiful.
100% better. Yes, because you have to take the time to listen to your inner gut. My inner gut said, Barbara, your eyes are little. Put the lashes on. So I got them on. Now that I'm stuck together, AJ.
You look gorgeous, and we're so
Thank you.
happy you're here. I love your brooch and your jacket, and I love your choker. You're just
Thank
absolutely
you.
beautiful, Barbara.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
darling.
thank you so much again for being here. I'm not going to get too mushy because I know people don't like that, but I
Oh,
do want to say I respect you so much, and you are a legend, and we love you. Okay, so let's
thank you.
let's begin.
Let's stop there.
Okay, let's stop there and
I
start.
love you is fine with me. Good. Okay, good.
Okay,
Wish you were a man, but okay, we'll go on.
in my next
Okay.
life. Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
tell us
Go ahead, AJ.
tell us about headlining with Harry Belafonte. How
Oh,
was it? How long was your residency there? And how did you get the gig, Barbara?
well, that's a very interesting question. And I must tell you, that was my first um, gig in Las Vegas in 1972. And Harry was in the showroom, and I was in the Cleopatra's Barge. But after every one of my shows, I did about 4 shows. I would go upstairs to the showroom. I never missed one performance of Harry Belafonte. I think I was glued to the showroom being big. I'm not sure what I was drawn to, but he was a fantastic performer. And no matter how many times I saw him, I had a 3 week gig. It was like I was there every night, every single night after one of my shows. And it was an incredible time for me. And how I got the gig was in Jewish, you would say bashert, meant to be. My father was managing Barron's men's store in Miami Beach. I was living in Miami at the time. And I was traveling all around the country singing, doing my act. In those days, we did an act. Not these days, but we do an act. That was an act. So my father sold clothes to all the biggies in Miami because it was one of those kind of men's shops. And Mel Chasen came to be fitted, and my father played one of my tapes. I had no idea in the world this was going on. And I had recorded This Is My Life in Australia in 1970. And he played my tape, and Mel Chasen called the entertainment director, I guess, and said he wanted to book me. It was a big song for me. This is my life, with 27 musicians, and it was incredible. My first time in a recording studio, and my father had, I think, a little cassette. In those days, we had cassette tapes. You probably don't remember this, AG, because you're too young. It was a square little tape, and they looked for me for a year. I had no idea in the world this was happening. And then I got the call, and I was like, Caesar's Palace? Caesar's Palace? Do they have the right number? Me? Yes, for a year they looked. I was traveling around Aruba, the cruises, doing what I do best, my singing. And I hired a publicist, of course. How dumb am I? I paid him $300. His name was Cy Shapiro, and he did wonderful promo for me because I had to go first class, you know. I mean, look where I was going, Caesar's Palace. And he told me one thing I will never forget, AJ. He said, keep your nose clean. And I said, what does that mean? Well, it means don't mess with the boys or anything nasty. Keep okay. I never forgot it. Never, never, never was great advice. And when I was on the plane flying to Vegas, somebody recognized me from my promo. And I was like, I couldn't believe everything that was happening. It was, yeah, just from his publicity. So that was my thing with Harry Belafonte, way before he was an activist. And I loved him. I loved him so much. Every single night, after every show of mine, I went up to watch him. That's how great he was. And one day in the casino, I was wearing something around my neck, and he came up to me and touched me, and I went, oh, it's Harry, looking at what I was wearing, you know, around my neck. And we'd go to the coffee shop at that time. Caesar's had a coffee shop, and he was married to Julie Belafonte, who was a nice Jewish white girl. And she would go out in the sun every day to look darker. It was hysterical. He's no longer married to her. And of course, he's no longer with us, but it was a wonderful experience, my darling. 1972 was nothing like it. And I took a picture. You can see a picture on the marquee. I went out there one day and I went, I'll probably never see my name again. So I took a picture. That was the old marquee. And I got it. So thank you, Harry. And thank you, Dad. I say thank you to my dad every time I pass Caesar's Palace. Thank you, Dad.
Yes, yes.
He doesn't know I'm living here now, but yeah.
Yes, absolutely. What a wonderful thing. Your father, I remember
Yeah.
those cassette tapes. Yes, Barbara,
Yes.
and he played it. And isn't
Yes, he
that something?
did.
Your father loved you so much. And
Yeah.
that was the best thing. That was a moment in time. I don't even know
Yes.
if it happens like that anymore, you know?
Well, with serendipity,
Yeah.
AJ, you know, most people die to get to Las Vegas. I know I've thought about it forever and a day, never thinking my father would have a hand in my life. And
Yeah.
he did. He played my tape, and it's a good recording. You know, this is my life with 27 musicians, and it was wonderful.
Yes,
So
I've
anyway,
seen that, and check it out.
um, yeah,
It's in color on YouTube, and I
it
watched
is.
it.
It is.
And
Oh,
Barbara,
did you?
you are spectacular. You're so beautiful. It's
Thank
just
you.
like, the Johnny Carson productions. You know how very wonderful they were, and I know you have been.
Yeah.
Weren't you on Johnny Carson? Were you at one time or?
No, I didn't do Johnny Carson. I did a lot of telethons though
Yes.
with Monty Hall and a
Monty
lot of
Hall.
television in LA. Oh, I did. I did the variety telethon with big orchestras. In those days, I lived in LA, you know, for 21 years, and that came like a long time later. Yeah.
Yeah, and just so fabulous. So check it out. Barbara's on YouTube in color, in a color video, and it's a great production. And you sing so
Thank you.
wonderfully. I really enjoyed it. I know everyone
Thank
will
you.
will love it.
Thank you.
And
And
also,
at that time, can I just mention something?
yeah,
I was opening in Australia for Nelson Sardelli, who's a real big deal here in Las Vegas, head of the Fiore Club. And his movie, My Mom Jane, just came out where he found out he knew he was the father of Mariska Hargitay. And at that time, I was opening for Nelson a long time ago.
oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah, and that's when I got a chance to record those two songs, Love Me Tonight and This Is My Life. But he played a part in my life too.
So fabulous.
You
So
never
fabulous.
know. Yeah, thank you.
And like you said, you took a photo of Caesar's Palace. We have it right here on your second screen. I
I
want
see.
everyone to check that out. There it is,
Yeah,
Belafonte.
yeah,
And I remember Cleopatra's Barge. Now they closed it.
yes, they
And are
did.
they ever going to reopen that up?
I don't think so, but it was rocking and like a boat, and it was heaven for me. I had my own trio, and I did all the latest songs and everything, and it's a part of me, the barge, and Caesar's is not the same. You go into Caesar's, you don't recognize where to go because
Yes.
it's totally different. Of course it is. It's 50 something years ago.
It's
But
so
who's
true.
talking? Who's talking?
It's so true, though, Barbara. And,
Right, right.
from Broadway to Vegas, which you've performed, all over internationally as well. What
Yes.
performance stands out as the most transformative in your career and why?
What performance or show? W- w-
Yeah,
Well,
either one.
well, my favorite Broadway show that I did was How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And we did that in Madison and Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Pabst Theater. And I did my first comedy role. They gave me, why did they give me comedy? Why not? Because who else would look like me? I had to be a character. So I would run into the stage and I go, no coffee. That was my big line. No coffee. I love that show. No, it was my favorite show in the world, singing, dancing, acting, and traveling. And of all the shows I've done, and I think my resume said about 10, but I actually did about 17 shows, and I didn't put them all on the resume, AJ, because I can't remember where the heck I did them. I did Guys and Dolls, I did Plain and Fancy, I did Milk and Honey. That's on the resume with Molly Pecan. That was one of my favorite shows. I loved that. She was just terrific. Yeah, and I
You
had a
do.
good part on that. I played a widow. It was good.
Oh,
Yeah, it
so
was
much
good.
fun. And did you that's where some of your comedic you had some comedic roles in there, right? Isn't that fun?
All comedic because I'm not your straight woman type of thing. I'm character. But I didn't know that then. I just auditioned and they would place me in these parts.
Well,
And
you have a wonderful flair and style
oh,
to your personality, Barbara. And I
thank you.
think that when they saw you, they thought, wow, this is a woman who's multi-talented, singing, dancing, playing the piano. And
Yeah.
so they thought, how can we put her in the best highlight, the best spotlight to use all of those great skills that she has? And I think
Could you
that's
tell those people on Broadway, AJ? I'll give you their number. Tell them what you got.
okay, send it my way and I'll give them a ring.
Okay. Actually, I must tell you, the last show I did was Some Like It Hot. It was called Sugar. And the movie is Some Like It Hot, as you know. It's at the Reynolds Center now, coming in at the Smith Center, and it's totally different from the show we did. Totally. I played one of the leads. I played Sweet Sue, which is the band leader, was another big part. And it was a beanstalk. I would yell beanstalk. It was like, she was the orchestra lead. So you see how Broadway has changed because the show that's now going to be at the Smith is nothing like our show.
Isn't that something? I mean,
Yeah, they do everything
I
different.
have to say I love vintage. I'm vintage, I feel I consider myself a vintage
You
aficionado.
don't you don't look
And
it.
I love Vegas how it used to be
Mhm.
because there's something that's not there. Like you touched on a moment ago, Vegas has
Mm.
definitely changed, hasn't it,
Oh yeah.
Barbara? It doesn't
Oh,
have
it's totally different. In my when I started in 72, I used to go from show to show to show after my show and catch all the acts, but there's no acts to catch. When Debbie Reynolds was here, I'd go over to see her and I could walk over to the Flamingo. You can't do that anymore. Can't even cross the street. So, excuse me, the residencies, it's a different world, and you have to understand, somebody in my age bracket, that it's a Taylor Swift world, and that's the way I love Taylor Swift. She's totally relevant. I can't beat Taylor Swift, so I can appreciate the youngsters and people that have all the residencies now, and it's just the way it is, honey. You got to go with the times.
that's right.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
right, Barbara. And we're still going. And speaking of going with the times, you have a tribute to Judy. You're performing at a tribute to Judy Garland and Liza Minnelli at the
Yes.
Rainbow Cabaret coming up
Yes.
July 17th this year.
Yes. Which
Real,
is
yeah,
It's a week from Thursday. It's
a
the
week.
second time we've done it. We
Yes,
started on April 10th. We did one a Thursday night, and the owner liked us so much. He said, "I'll give him another shot." So we redid this. I got different, more comedy, and I'm singing too as well because my audience told me when they saw it, "Barbara, we used to hear you sing. Why aren't you singing?" I said, "Because it's their tribute. I'm just doing the comedy." So we decided to add my opening number through the audience, and then I'll go on stage and do my comedy and more comedy with Liza to introduce her when she does cabaret, Suzanne Goulet. So we've puffed it up a little bit, and I'm looking forward to doing it. And I want an audience, so show up, friends.
exactly. Show up, buy tickets, and it's
That's right. Right.
Denise Rose as Judy
Yeah.
and Susan
Yeah.
Goulet
Yeah.
as Liza.
And they're
And you can
wonderful.
get your
Yeah.
tickets. It'll be 7 p.m. July 17th at Alexis Park Resort. Tickets
Yeah.
are 32.21. You can call
Yeah.
702
Yeah.
483 8056 or go to
Yeah.
www.ticketkite.com. It's at
Or AJ, they can go to the box office too.
They can go to the
Just the
box
night, the
office.
night of the show, just show up.
Yes, and that's at 37. I'm sorry. Yeah, the box office. Is it the same as the theater? Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
375 East Harmon Avenue, Las Vegas,
yeah,
Nevada,
yeah,
89169. You've done really great at this, Barbara.
yeah.
You did
Oh,
so
thanks.
well. They
Is
brought
that it?
No, no, no. You did so
Oh,
well with this Rainbow Cabaret that they wanted you back, right? A second time.
yes,
Fabulous.
yes, yes. And we want to take it on the road too, because it's a production show. And I actually put it together. The girls have been working for about 17 years, the Judy and Liza Cabaret thing. And I said to Suzanne after seeing a show, why don't we do something at Alexis and let me do my Joan? And that's a good idea. So we did it, and I'm so opening with that. And she does a lot of wonderful videos. Wow, Suzanne's great on that computer, I'll tell you. So it's a production show now, and it's fun. I'm working. What can I tell you?
I'm so proud of you. It's wonderful. And
Thank you.
and on so please check out those tickets online and get your tickets and get and show up and see Barbara because she's one in a million and we love her. And Barbara, I have another
Yeah.
photo
Okay.
of you and Joan Rivers and you
Right.
performing, and you've been described as Florida's answer to Joan Rivers before surgery. So how did you
Somebody said that once to me, and I said, let me use that as an intro.
That's great, isn't
Well,
it?
because I haven't had any plastic surgery. And Joan has had nothing but plastic surgery. So
Right.
I opened my act with plastic surgery jokes. And I thought that would be a nice introduction.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I love, you're beautiful as you are, and so am I.
Thank
I'm
you.
beautiful as I am.
Yes,
We
you are.
we don't have to have plastic surgery at all. We can be ourselves and be authentic, and people
Yes, we
appreciate
do. Yes, we do, AJ.
right.
I am not, I'm a chicken. Don't put a needle near my face. I don't want it. You'll have to love me with my wrinkles. That's all.
We do, and we do. Now,
Okay.
how did you keep it fresh throughout the years? How did you develop such versatility in your
Mm.
performances, in your tributes to Joan? You mentioned a little bit of plastic surgery. Do you just change it up for the times, or what do
No,
you do?
not really. I had a comedic writer in Florida where I came from, and she wrote a lot of my comedy. And then I also put a lot of Jones material in it. And I never use four-letter words, ever, 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 ever. That's not me. The most I do that is double entendre or vaginal rejuvenation jokes. And people go, no. I said, yes. And the women love it. They love it because they talk about it on The View all the time, which is my favorite show. I'm waiting for one of them to die so I can go on The View. And so that's about as relevant as I get. And I talk about marriage. and stuff that goes on with a man and woman and dating and Facebook and stuff like that. I think I'm pretty relevant. I think I am.
Yes, you are, and it's wonderful. You're very funny, and you're right. We all we love your jokes, Barbara. Keep them coming. And
Thank you.
you were
Yeah.
on General Hospital, and you did like 17 plus Broadway shows.
Yes.
Which was your favorite? I mean, was General Hospital was TV?
No,
Uh,
that's a soap opera. That's a
so
soap opera.
right.
Yeah.
Was that your favorite, or do you love Broadway more, or what's where are you in your element, or performing?
My whole thing is talk show, AJ. I did a lot of talk shows in LA. I did 3 years. Um, I learned something else actually when I was unemployed in New York, in LA, because I've been to so many markets, I don't know where I'm at half the time. And I was watching Sally Jesse and Oprah and everybody, and I said, I want to do that. I want to do a talk show. And I found a producer, and I did a talk show for 3 years called the Barbara Brighton Show in LA. And I did the Emmys. Believe it or not, that's one place I met Joan. She looked me up and down and up and down and up. She liked what I was wearing. And that's my favorite thing, AJ,
Uh,
talk show. I
So
know. I know I can sing. I know I can. I did a lot of commercials. I did the soap opera. But to tell you the truth, my heart lies in television. I
yes,
just love television. I
yes,
think if you're not on television, nobody knows where you are, who you are, or what's going on.
exactly.
Television, that's it.
Exactly. Television is the way to go.
Yeah,
And so the Barbara Brighton show that is on YouTube. Please subscribe and follow Barbara. She's on YouTube. Look it up, the Barbara Brighton show. It's
right,
fabulous.
right,
And
right.
which celebrity did you enjoy the most when you interviewed?
Yeah. Well, when I was on, but I also have one on YouTube now called Brighten Your Night. That's I have 4 or 5 shows on there. I've done that here in Vegas, where I had Kelly and Clint and Frankie Shinta and John D. Domenico, who did Trump, and the menopause producers, my friends Alan and Kathy Glist, because I wanted to include them. I wanted something different. I only did 4 shows, but it's very relevant. And my favorite, well, I have to tell you, in LA, Mr. Blackwell would probably be my favorite. Do you know who Mr. Blackwell is? The
Yes,
10
I
worst
do.
dress list. Yeah, he didn't want to do my show, and tell everybody told him this is the best show you've ever done, and it was illuminating for me. I just loved all the celebrities. I had Shirley Jones and Marty Ingalls, who are crazy. Marty Ingalls is totally crazy. And they rushed in right at airtime. I thought, I'm not going to have a guest. But they rushed right in. We did the show. It was wonderful. And for 3 years, I loved it. I just loved it. Like you like your podcast.
Oh,
Uh,
thank
I,
you.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. And you're
Thank
doing a great job, AJ.
Thank you. Well, you're one of
Yeah.
the highlights, Barbara. You know, you've done it all pretty much, TV, soap operas, Broadway, and you're still performing. And so
Yeah.
thank you so much. That means a lot to me that you said you love my podcast. And are you going to do TV again? Do you want to do your own podcast?
I'd love to. But I'm not very familiar with that method. I am so used to being in a studio with 3 cameras and a director, and I, I'm just going to put it on hold for the moment until I connect with the right elements. And could I love to talk, can't you tell? I know. When I was 5 years old on the bus, my mother said, I was talking to people on the bus. She said, stop it. I said, well, I didn't know I'd turn out to be a talk show host. I was 5 years old. I'm interested in people. I love people. I like to find out what's wrong with people.
Yes, so your next podcast
Anything.
it can be called what's time with 15 minutes with Dr. Brighton.
Right, right.
Um,
What's up with that? You never know, AJ. You might be my guest. You never know.
Well, wouldn't that be fun? Okay, I'd love.
Yeah.
I
You'll
normally
have to
don't.
teach me how to do a podcast. That's all.
I normally don't do video, do interviews, but for you, I would make an exception, Barbara. You're
Thank you.
the
Thank you.
only one.
Oh, really? Really? Am I a hard case or what?
No, no, you're the perfect case, and
Oh, thank you.
yes, you're wonderful in every way. Okay,
Thank you
so
so
you
much.
mentioned the red carpet and Emmys and
Yeah.
interviewing Mr. Blackwell. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Yes,
That was in the studio, not on the red carpet. No.
right, right. That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go there in a minute to the red carpet.
Okay.
But in the
Okay.
studio with Mr. Blackwell,
Yeah.
did you feel a little intense? Remember, he's got an eye for fashion and all of that.
Yeah.
Did you have
Never.
to?
No, there was nobody that intimidated me except Marty Ingalls and Shirley Jones because he was like crazy. And I thought, how am I going to interview this? But
Right.
everybody else, no, I did cooking shows, I did drug rehab shows. I learned so much about being, for 3 years about being a talk show host. And uh, no, nobody intimidated me because I love to talk, I love to learn. And I think it was pretty popular in LA. I aired at 11 o'clock at night when nobody else was watching anything, the news. And I go to the gym and everybody said, I watched your show. I said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So it made me feel really good. So your question was, did somebody intimidate me? No, nobody intimidated me.
Wonderful, wonderful. And that's what I was expecting you to say, Barbara, because you're confident and you've done so many wonderful things. When you were on the red carpet interviewing celebrities, you covered the Emmys. How was that? Was that fun?
It was scary. Yes, my one of the men that I did a show with called me. He said, Barbara, do you want to go to the Emmys? And I went, sure. Why wouldn't I want to go to the Emmys? And he said, I'd like to use the film footage and you can put it on your show. I went, okay. So he got me a badge and I went to Pasadena. That's where it was at the time. And my first uh, interview was Dom DeLuise. He was fabulous. And I did so many people on the carpet. I didn't know who they were. I had Beverly Hills 90210. I never watched that show. What the heck? What is that? Shannon Doherty and Jason Priestley and I had no idea. Peter Falk and all these people that were running in front of me. And Burt Reynolds, of course, he got the Emmy of the evening. He was my last interview, and little did I know he was fooling around because he was with Lonnie Anderson, his wife, but he was fooling around.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
oh yeah, I got a lot of gossip. Are you kidding? So it was a great moment, and all these people crossed in front of me. I had to ask the paparazzi, who are they? Who are they? What's Beverly Hills 90210? No, I'm not kidding you. I did that off camera. So I
Wow.
didn't know, I didn't know half the youngsters because I never watched Beverly Hills
Sure.
90210. So when they walked in front of me, and they all walked in front of me, and I said, who is this? Tell me, talk me. And then I worked with people that were on General Hospital and that I interviewed. And she says, I remember you from General Hospital. Menachem, I can't remember the show he was on, but I have a lot of wonderful red carpet interviews from then. And she remembered me from being on GH. I was
Oh,
the intensive care nurse, in case you didn't know.
okay. So you
Yeah.
played the intensive care nurse, and so you had a
Yes.
white uniform, right?
Yes, I
Did
did.
did you have a
Yeah.
little hat?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
How
At that
cute.
time, yeah, they didn't like I had a permanent at the time. They didn't like my permanent. They didn't like my nails. I painted the director said, oh, we can't have you do nails. What? No nurse wears nails? So I had to take my nail polish off. And at that time, I was Jackie Zeman's um, nurse. And I had to get her, oh, I had to tell you a funny story. I had to get her on the gurney, and she was doing a scene with Rick Springfield at the time. And Rick couldn't remember any of his lines, but I helped him a lot and he remembered. But he was in the scene and she was going blind, and I was supposed to put her on the gurney. I couldn't get her on the gurney. I was making so much noise. Click, click, click. Barbara, let's stop and start. Oh, okay. So I finally got her on the gurney, and the scene kept going. And it was like, Barbara the comedian. I didn't mean it. I swear I didn't mean it. It's hard to get somebody in bed that's
Oh,
going
yeah,
blind, and you had to get him in bed and get him on the gurney. I'm just a little nurse. What do I know?
exactly.
I wasn't really a nurse, but I had to play like I was a nurse. Oh, I remember those. Yeah, and they had to stop and reshoot for me. But
Wow.
anyway, we did it. We
But
did it.
you know
So
what, you're right.
but,
Somewhat Jackie's character,
yeah,
she wouldn't be able to move or wouldn't be able to see in General
no, she was
Hospital.
blind.
Right. And
Yeah, right.
so you had to do everything, basically, didn't
I
you?
had
You
it
had to.
right. Yeah. And Rick Springfield was by her side, and he was dialogue and everything. And I said, "Time to go for a ride, Bobby." Dr. Rennet, I know my big lines. "Time to go for a ride, Bobby. Dr. Rennet is waiting to take the test.
Oh,
Get her in the gurney. Good luck, Barbara." So that's for my lines.
that's great.
Oh God, those were the days.
Those were the
I,
days,
I
Barbara. That's
loved it. I
amazing.
loved it. I loved it.
Fun, fun, so much fun. I love all of that.
It was another part of me.
Yeah, yeah. And you grew up in Boston and you
I did.
studied ballet, jazz,
Mhm.
and piano. Do you
Yes, I did.
still dance and play?
Well, if I could learn to walk, AJ, I'd be dancing. No, I still play. Um, uh, I move on stage when they choreograph me or whatever. I can still do that. But I used to teach dancing too. It was one of the things that actors had to do when they were out of work. And I'm equity, all the unions, and they would have these notices posted for actors. And I said, okay, I'll do that. So I was a ballroom teacher, and I learned how to teach ballroom to make a buck. Yeah, and I studied jazz with Luigi and Matt Maddox. All of the Broadway people would know who I'm talking about. And I hope some of them are listening because was a different world. I used to live at the rehearsal club. Did you know that? I lived with Blythe Danner, and yes, I did. And Carol Burnett started there. She became famous at the rehearsal club, and I was with Miss who else with Blythe and Kim Cattrall lived there. It was when I first got to New York. I lived at the rehearsal club. It was $45 a week, and we got 2 meals.
My God.
And we would audition. Oh no, no, no. It was like what an experience.
Yeah, incredible, incredible. And is that even going anymore? I mean, I think you had the best times there, didn't you?
Well, it was 53, let's see, 47 West 53rd Street. And they have a book now, Cinderella Liberty, and I'm in it. And I bought it, of course, because it was part of my life.
Yeah.
And no, but they now have a place for maybe 10 girls to live. Well, but it's not on 53rd anymore. It's far away from there, but they're keeping the legacy going. And I hear from them all the time.
Oh, that's great. I'm
Yeah,
so
it
glad
was,
that they're still going.
yeah,
And
they keep it going. They keep it going.
absolutely, we must. That's how we have what we have to do.
Yeah,
Barbara,
yeah.
you have been such a delight today, and we're going to have to start wrapping the show up soon. I'm so
Oh,
sorry, but you've done so
okay.
well.
Thank
And
you.
is there anything else you want to share or promote or give an acknowledgement or thank you to?
Oh, no, but maybe in October, I have a couple of shows coming up. I'm going to do the cast party at Myron's Ballroom with Billy Stritch and Jim Caruso. Billy is Liza's conductor forever and 5 million other stars. And it'll be my third time, and it's a wonderful experience. And if all goes well, on the 25th, I'll be doing the Spotlight Spectacular again at the Orleans with Nina 10. It all depends on her sponsors. So I have a lot of stuff out there. Maybe to acknowledge and thank you to all of my friends that are supportive in Las Vegas, and I guess to God for keeping me here. I'm still here.
Take it away, Barbara. We'd
That's
love.
it. That's the story of my life. I'm still here. Don't count me out. I'm still here.
That's right. That's right. And we love you, Barbara, so very, very much.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for that. And Barbara, we always have in our show our heart message. And so this can be, something that you want to share with the world, or it can be a personal thing, or business. What is your heart message for the world, Barbara?
To trust in God and listen to your inner soul, your gut, because that's the truth. That will tell you what you need to know. That's my heart message is for everybody to be well. I think to be physically well is the only thing I care about right now. If I get other offers and whatever comes along, I'm grateful. But right now, I think health is number one. That's me.
Definitely, 100% I agree. And Barbara, when I come to Vegas next time, I want us to meet. I was there recently in a film festival, and I know you had an engagement, you were busy
I was,
performing, but
yes,
and so you would have come if it could have. But
yes.
Barbara, next time we must meet. I want to go out to dinner with you,
Oh,
take you out to a
okay.
nice dinner, okay?
Okay.
And of your
Do I
choice.
have to do I have to do the eyelashes, AJ?
Only if you want to, Barbara. It's up
Look
to
what she made me do, public. She made me put makeup on and everything. Okay, I'm just kidding. What? I'm crazy. You know
No,
I'm crazy.
you're amazing. You're amazing in every way. And we adore you, Barbara Brighton. Okay, so follow Barbara Brighton on Facebook. Check her out on YouTube, The Barbara Brighton Show.
Come to
And,
my show.
come to her show, Rainbow Cabaret.
Right,
Excuse me,
right.
July 17th, coming up soon. Get your ticket, 7
Yes.
p.m. and enjoy and support her. Thank you so much, Barbara, for today. We love you so much.
Thank you, AJ. Did I talk enough?
You talked perfectly. Can we talk?
Can
We
we
can talk.
talk? Can we talk? Good.
We can talk.
I